Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we have taken up the chapter Growth of Indian Nationalism. This is a chapter from History Class 9 Seva Board. So in this chapter, what are the things we are going to discuss? Let us find out. Firstly, we are going to discuss about what is nationalism. What is the term nationalism mean? Next, we are going to discuss thoroughly about some of the factors that has led to growth of Indian nationalism, like influence of Western education, then development of means of transport and communication. Then we are also going to discuss about some socio-religious reform movements like the Brahmo Samaj led by Raja Ram Mohan Roy. We are also going to discuss about the Arya Samaj, Prarthana Samaj, Ramakrishna Mission, Theosophical Society, Aligarh movement. These are some of the most important movements that grew up during that time, which has led to Indian nationalism. Next, we are going to discuss about the role of press, role of media in the growth of nationalism in India. Then we are going to discuss about growth of political associations. Next, we are going to discuss about Indian National Congress, how it was formed, under whose initiative was it formed, when was it formed. So all these things we are going to discuss. And lastly, we are going to discuss about Dadabhai Naoroji. So in one video, I'm not going to finish up everything. Part by part, we are going to break down and understand this chapter. Nationalism means a love for nation, love for our country. So in this chapter, we are going to understand about the growth of Indian nationalism in our country, especially in the 19th century, which was a gradual process. Mughal Empire started disintegration after the death of Aurangzeb. Disintegration means what? It started getting divided. Because earlier the Mughals, they were very powerful and they were ruling almost all over the country before the Britishers took over. But after the death of Aurangzeb, now in this regard, this year you have to memorize from 1658 to 1709. This is the period where Aurangzeb reigned in the Mughal Empire. So after he died, the disintegration happened in the kingdom, and the kingdom gradually became weaker. And taking the advantage of this kind of situation, the English East India Company started interfering in the politics of India. Initially, the Britishers, they were only interested in doing trade with India. But later on, that trade interest necessitated political control. Within a short span of time, the English East India Company transformed itself from a mere trading body to a paramount political power. The defeat of Sirajuddaulah, the Nawab of Bengal, in the Battle of Plassey in 1757, the year you have to remember, because sometimes questions like sequence, and dates in sequence, when did the following events occur, or arrange in sequence, those kind of questions come. So you memorize this kind of dates, okay? The beginning of the British political power over India. So the defeat of Sirajuddaulah, who was the Nawab of Bengal, in the Battle of Plassey. With that, the Britishers, it was the beginning of the British political control over India. Just after that, means after 100 of years, I mean 1757, the Battle of Plassey occurred, and 100 years after that, that is in the year 1857, the people of India rose in the revolt against the British rule. So you have to understand the sequence, the dates. Aurangzeb died in 1709, and after that the disintegration started in the kingdom. After that, the British, they started building up interest over ruling over India. Then after the defeat of Sirajuddaulah in the Battle of Plassey, that is in 1757, after that the British started taking over political control in India. And right after that, for after 100 of years, the Indians, the Indian people, they, you know, rose against the Britishers. That is in 1857. And during that time, if you remember, the Sepoy Mutiny occurred. So with that, the people started, then the growth of nationalism, the feeling of nationalism, it started in India. The British administration introduced into India Western education, that we are going to study next, about Western education, how Western education emerged in India after the Britishers came to India. And Western education arose among the Indians a new spirit of awakening. Reason replaced blind faith, and a change in outlook took place. So when Western education came up, when people started understanding their language, when they also started getting educated, when Indians started getting educated, then what happened? The the reasons replaced blind faith, because earlier when they were not that educated, they, anything and everything, they used to believe that they were easily exploited. But when education came up, when they started getting education, reason replaced blind faith. Reason replaced blind faith. It was a new India that was formed in the 19th century with the introduction of Western education. Now, when people started getting educated, they started questioning, they started understanding things, and that strong feeling of, this is our country, we will have to stand for our country, for our race, for our society. The whole this thing, rose up in their mind. With that, and there was a change that was brought in the society. In the next video, thoroughly we are going to understand, and this is one of the most important things that we're going to understand in the next part, about the factors that led to the growth of Indian nationalism. What are the factors that led to the growth of nationalism in India? So we'll take up the topics one by one, and we are going to understand that thoroughly. So that's it for this video. In my next video, I'm going to continue this chapter, and hopefully you have understood. I'm making video after a very long time, so I need your support. That will keep me motivated to make more and more videos. So we shall meet in the next video. Till then, bye bye.